This is the Geneva Shore Report coming to you from upstairs in the Avant Coffee Shop in downtown Lake Geneva on this wonderful, wonderful spring day. It is overcast, but other than that, there's no wind and the temperature is accommodating. So we are here, however, inside, and we're here to talk to Maureen Zimmerman, who's running for a place on the board in Town of Linn, a very important place on the board. And we are here.
It is Thursday afternoon, March 25th, 2021. I'm Lisa Otto, and I'm here with
Maureen Zimmerman,
Jen Lipkowski,
And George Belushi Jr.
Okay, and the Geneva Shore Report. But more importantly, we are here to talk about the spring election, which is fast approaching, April 6th, a week from Tuesday. So a lot going on. We want to visit with Maureen again. So thank you for coming, Maureen.
thank you for having me.
And she is running for a seat as Board Supervisor in the Town of Linn. So we know that you're very fond of the Town of Linn and you're very committed to it. So can you give us a little background into how and why and all this is taking place?
I love the Town of Linn. I love the fact that it is so diverse. We have the farm community or the agriculture community. We've got the lake community. We have the residential community. And we have a great deal of tourism and the people that are the summer community. And we can go from a limited number of population and then expand to where it feels it's bursting and booming, and we're a great time. You've been to my house, you know that I live on the lake, and so I get to meet so many people as they walk the shore path. And I have a wonderful time chatting with them. I have a wonderful time chatting with people in the grocery stores we just discussed. I wanted to be part of making people feel like we are all one community. Well, I respect the diversity, and I love that we can be diverse. I wanted to feel that we are all pulling in the same direction and that we respect one another. We've had some issues recently where we weren't feeling that we were pulling in the same direction, and that some of the leadership wanted to bring our votes up to Walworth County and take away our autonomy. I didn't like that. I don't think many people enjoyed that. So I thought, well, I'll run and maybe bring us back to feeling like true community. I feel like we need to support our fire department, our police department. We do a great job with plowing our snow. I always feel protected by our police department. I know that they know just about everybody in town. I know our fire people feel the same way. I love the pig roast. It's a lovely, lovely community that many people may have been from Chicago or Rockford or Milwaukee, and now they live here full time. And that's what we did. We lived in the Chicago suburbs, and now we live here full time.
Now, your background, surprisingly enough, because it doesn't look like it would be your background, that you were a pretty successful nurse, pretty high up in the administration as far as the departments you worked. I mean, being an oncological surgical nurse is quite something.
Well, you're giving me a little more credit than I deserve. I always wanted to remain at the bedside, so I didn't move up into administration as a nurse. I remained at the bedside. And so at Rush, I was a surgical oncology nurse. And then I moved over to Northwestern as a ER nurse. And I loved the rush of and the excitement of the emergency room and triage. And that's what I think that my skill set brings to the Town of Linn, and the supervisory position is the ability to organize and make decisions quickly, realize what's going on, and how to work with limited supply, which in this case would be tax dollars. You can do that with a blood supply, you could do that with bandaging. That's what triage really means in French, that you have to prioritize and then work with a limited supply. in this case, it's the taxpayer money.
Okay. And what made you, here's a bizarre question for you. You're a Catholic, a real Catholic, and you chose to go to St. Francis instead of St. Benedict's over there. What made you end up on Catholic Hill?
Right, Catholic Hill. I really am more traditional, and I like to be more traditional feel of that church. And when they were doing their renovation, we were asked to participate, as were many people in the parish, asked to participate in its renovation. We were on the finance committee and helped go around and fundraise, which I had done many times for hospitals. So that's what we did. And if you have gone inside, you realize how beautiful and neo-Gothic it is. But it really is about the staff and the priest and how they bring a traditional feel, at least for me.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Well, I think you stated everything we wanted to hear. You did a great job, so thank you, Maureen. We look forward to talking to you again before the election.
Yeah, next week we're gonna visit with you again. I think people, really respond to these videos because they can see and listen to you, and you can really deliver to them.
Just like the story right before you came here, and you had a sign up in someone's yard, and before they wanted to endorse the sign, they knew a lot about you, but wanted to meet you personally, right?
Well, she wanted to speak to me personally before she would. Even though she had heard from her friends that she should vote for me, she wanted to speak to me personally. That is emblematic.
Yeah, that is amazing.
That is emblematic of the town of Linn and the nice people that live here.
What's your email address in case people want to communicate with you?
It's mdzrn and the number 1 at gmail.com.
MDZ, that would be Mike Delta Zulu.
Yes, Mike Delta Zulu, RN.
RN, Romeo, November, the number 1.
Yes.
Okay. At gmail.com. Well, that's great because I think it is important these days, especially with the turmoil that we've seen in Town of Linn, that they reach out to you if they have any doubts at all.
Oh, absolutely. Contact me. I'll write you back as soon as I can or talk to you on the phone. I'm happy to do so.
Okay.
Great.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you again, Maureen.
Thank you.
I'm Lisa Otto.
Maureen Zimmerman.
John Lupkowski.
And George Belushi Jr.
And the Geneva Report.
And that's the rest of the story.